At present, we waste around a third of the entire food supply, which makes no sense when you think about the fact that there's nearly 1 billion hungry people on our planet, and at the same time we're chopping down forests, why? To grow more food. So put those problems together and you can see that one of the easiest things that we need to do to tackle the global food supply problems and the environmental problems that we're facing is to reduce food waste. Under the Feeding the 5,000 banner, we do a number of projects, one of which is the Gleaning Network, where we take volunteers to farms to collect food that was going to be wasted or ploughed back into the field. I realised that there was a colossal amount of good edible food that was often being wasted at the level of farms, and that's because of cosmetic standards laid down by supermarkets, where if produce doesn't look perfect, it's very often very difficult for farmers to find a market for it, and it wasn't being used. At the same time, we were talking to food redistribution charities who deliver food, very often surplus food from the industry, and take it to people who need it. But they lacked fruit and vegetables as part of what they were offering to some of their partner charities. And we decided that those two problems actually fitted together into a perfect solution. We, the public, have more power than just affecting what we do in our homes. We have the power, and I would argue the responsibility, to demand change from the food industry, from those companies that we buy our food from. And we're saying, look, you go and buy your food every day in shops and in restaurants. How about asking the question, what do you do with your food waste? Do you destroy it, or do you donate surplus to charities? Do you have principles that mean that your farmers are wasting cosmetically imperfect produce? Because if so, we, the customer, would like to see food waste reduction as one of the things that you're offering us. And in fact, in the United Kingdom, that's one of the great success stories of our campaign. Since we launched in 2009, we've seen that ugly fruit and vegetables has become the fastest growing sector of the fresh produce market in the United Kingdom. And the National Farmers Union now estimates that over the last 12 months alone, 300,000 tonnes of produce that would have been wasted has now instead been marketed and sold to customers. They're happy because they can choose from a variety of different kinds of produce. Supermarkets are selling more stuff, and of course farmers are wasting less of their produce. The United Nations and the European Parliament have both asked for a halving of food waste over the next 20 to 25 years. That is something that obviously is hugely challenging, but it's an ambitious target and it is achievable. If we do manage to reduce our food waste, we can increase food supplies for those people who need it most, at the same time as reducing our environmental impact. And those two things are and should be global priorities. And having come from a place where campaigning on food waste 10 years ago was a very niche subject, we're now very pleased to see that the international institutions like the United Nations, like the European Commission and the European Parliament have realised that reducing food waste is one of the global priorities.